All right. The Utah Jazz got a nice win tonight over the Dallas Mavericks without Luka Doncic. It was actually a really impressive performance from Spencer Dinwiddie. Let's talk about this game. The Mavericks, the Jazz, the Hoops Nerd postgame show. Guys, before we get into this, let's just give a shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com and use promo code HoopsNerd. They will match up to $100 of free money. Go do it. They will match you, and you can go make prop bets. Tonight was the easiest ever. Spencer Dinwiddie was going to get all the shots that Lauri Markkanen, Luka Doncic took. That was an easy pick. And then you might as well just pick Lauri Markkanen every night because he hits the over every night because he's an all-star. He's going to be an all-star in SLC, and Prize Picks is a way you can take advantage of how good Lauri Markkanen has been. Go to prizepicks.com, use promo code HoopsNerd. It supports the channel. It supports everything I'm doing here. I would appreciate it. Guys, how are my Prize Picks going? Pretty well. I don't do it quite as much. I do it when I think that I have a good matchup. Tonight I forgot. It was my daughter's birthday today. And I should have done it because it was such an obvious. The nights where you have like Luka Doncic out and you get to pick the over on someone like Spencer Dinwiddie is just easy. It's just easy. Just pick the over. By the way, I have a few rules with Prize Picks. Here, I guess we'll keep the ad up. But always take the player that is filling a void from someone else. Always. And always pick overs. Picking unders sucks. Every time you pick an under, they turn into Michael Jordan. It's just kind of a law. It's a rule. It's everything. So I like to pick overs, and I like to pick players that are doing the over. Also, make sure you're checking matchups. Who's guarding who? You know, are you a center and you're going up against like Joel Embiid, or Rudy Gobert? Probably don't want to pick the over on the center in that game. Anyways, go to prizepicks.com. Use promo code HoopsNerd. I would appreciate it. All right, guys, let's talk about this game. Let's get into it. By the way, what happened with NBA.com? I used it for years, and they switched their thing today, so we're going off of ESPN. I don't know if I love it, but it is what it is. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Oh, boy. All right, here we go. All right, let's talk about the Mavericks first before we talk about the Jazz. Obviously, the story of the game was Luka Doncic was out, and like we mentioned in the Prize Picks read, Spencer Dinwiddie kind of filled that void. And because they don't have a ton of real playmakers, in fact, honestly, Spencer Dinwiddie's kind of it. You look at this team, a lot of guys that are like 3-and-D or spot-up shooters. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. can do a few things, but I look at him as basically a three-point shooter who basically needs to be set up to hit his threes. Same with Dorian Finney-Smith, who's a nice defender. It's a tough situation for the Mavericks. So Spencer Dinwiddie having a big-time night and playing 42 minutes is probably the most predictable thing ever. He had 35 points. He shoots 6 for 11 from 3, 11 for 23 from the field. He was amazing, although some of these threes were out of this world. This 6 for 11 is bonkers. He hit like that one fadeaway 30-footer, whatever it was. He's still just a really good player. They miss Jalen Brunson, it's obvious, but this team is pretty darn solid when Luka Doncic is playing. When he gets back, and it won't be too long till he gets back, they are still just an absolute load to take care of. And so we'll see. I think one of the biggest things this season for the Dallas Mavericks was just seeing how they could replace the production of Jalen Brunson going to New York, and if they could. And I think they kind of depended on Spencer Dinwiddie doing some things, but Luka Doncic has just gone to another level. I think it's like 33 points a game or something like that. He's been amazing this season. He takes the brunt, that offensive load, and he does great things with it. They need some variety, and it's obvious without Brunson, they're not quite the same team. I don't know if they have quite as high a ceiling without him, but they're still going to be a good team. And anytime you have Luka Doncic in the playoffs or in a basketball game, you have a chance to win because absolutely light teams up. He lights the Jazz up every time he plays them. Not much else to really say. I mean, it's a pretty simple, straightforward team. There you have the Dallas Mavericks are a snake, and that head of the snake is Luka Doncic. And when he's not there, they can become something a little different, but it's pretty much a similar thing. They were able to really do some good things tonight. I'm actually pretty impressed that they put up 100. I mean, the Jazz defense is pretty bad, but this was a low possession game. See how many shots? 46 shots. I don't know. 17 threes, but Utah 108, Mavericks 100. It's not surprising they did score at considering how bad the Jazz defense is. Oh, is this putting in audio? Sorry. Crud. How loud was that? Hopefully that wasn't stupid ESPN. Let's go to NBA.com. Sorry, guys. That's annoying. Let's see. Did finally. Okay. So these weren't up before. That was weird. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Anyways, that's all I got to say about the Dallas Mavericks, other than just Spencer Dinwiddie's really nice, but they need someone else. And I don't know how they're going to get it. They're in a tough situation, to be honest. All right, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. First off, Lauri Markkanen is the story, and I have to say, and I wrote about it in the recap at SLC Dunk. You can go read that if you want. Lauri Markkanen, the story for him this year has been so amazing, and the fact that he has just turned things around. Let's see, 36 minutes tonight, 11 for 20 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3. The efficiency from him has been unbelievable. But what's so impressive, and what was really impressive tonight, was the fact that he took the load on when things got tough. When the Mavericks would make a big shot, would make a run, they made a run near the end. They actually got within like 5 points of the Jazz. Markkanen hit a couple big shots, and it ended the game. I mean, he really just put them away, like 2 monster threes at the end of the game. I think it was 12 points in the fourth quarter for Lauri Markkanen. And that right there is pretty amazing, too, because a lot of times a team like the Mavericks are going to come and try to slow down Lauri Markkanen. And even with them focusing on him, he was able to put up points. And the fact that he can take on mismatches and then just punish small players, it's impressive. I think one of the things I'm loving the most, obviously the efficiency is unreal. This type of efficiency is like, this is Kevin Durant type efficiency. This is crazy. This is not to be underestimated. Unbelievable efficiency. But what I really love is the demeanor. His demeanor coming into the season, you could tell he was a little tentative. And then he's just turned into an all-star, and he knows he's an all-star. He plays like it. And he's not afraid to be physical. He's not afraid to be physically dominant against other players. He's not afraid to dunk on people. Like him challenging at the rim on that one dunk was unbelievable. It's amazing what Lauri Markkanen has become. And it's just fun to see him just continue to develop and continue to become this awesome, awesome all-star. You know, and who knows, maybe in a year or two, if he keeps developing, he becomes All-NBA. You never know. Kelly Olynyk came back and played 15 minutes. He had one little stint where you saw the passing and shooting, and he hit that. I mean, he only took 2 threes, but he did knock down the one. In 2 assists in 15 minutes. I mean, the Prize Picks usually puts him at 4 assists, so you usually are picking whether he goes over 4. That's really tough because he honestly is right around 4 assists a game. If he plays 30 minutes, he's going to get about 4, but the way the ball moves when Lauri Markkanen or when Kelly Olynyk's on the floor is really nice. And I think that's the future of this Jazz team. You need to be able to do multiple things for the very different than this Mavericks team where it's a lot of Luka Doncic, initiating the play and then kicking it out to open 3-point shooters and things like that when they double. With this Jazz team, it's ball movement, it's shared. And that's one thing I really love about what Lauri Markkanen does. It's all within the offense. It's like he's cutting to the basket. He's running in transition. He's hitting, spot up threes. He's pulling up from he does post ups, mid-rangers, things. He's just doing a little of everything, but it's within the offense. He's not taking shots from people. So playing with someone like Lauri Markkanen's got to be amazing, especially if you're a point guard like Mike Conley, who had 11 assists tonight. I mean, you don't think, this right here is Lauri Markkanen, these 11 assists. You don't think Mike Conley doesn't enjoy being with Lauri Markkanen? You throw that out to Markkanen wide open, he's knocking it down. It's incredible. Let's just look. But 3-point percentage, he's shooting 43% from 3 this year. He's only getting better. 43% from three. Let's see the field goal percent. 52, 43, 87. I mean, he's got to knock down these. If he could get a 50, 40, 90 year, that would be unbelievable. That is Kevin Durant. We're talking Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers of all time. And that's what Lauri Markkanen's doing this year. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I can't state enough what Lauri Markkanen is doing, how impressive it is, because it's out of this world. Walker Kessler had a big night. Look at this. 14 points, 11 rebounds. He had some big-time blocks, and he did this 14 and 11 in 25 minutes. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Jordan Clarkson had kind of a tough shooting night. 4 for 13 from the field. He did hit that 1-3, but 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Just overall solid night for Jordan Clarkson. But the shooting wasn't quite there tonight. But this is nice to see. He's not just absolutely shooting the Jazz out of the game. I was watching this game, and I actually thought about it while I was watching. Last year, he's just a different player this year. You know, when I see Jordan Clarkson with the ball at the end of games, I'm not worried. You know, does anyone else get worried when you see Jordan Clarkson with the ball? Last year, there would be times where you'd be worried, like, oh, is he going to just kind of take a bad shot? Is he going to force something that's not going to help them win the game? Now, when he has the ball, you know he's going to make a good decision. A Jordan Clarkson shot means that there wasn't a pass to be made, and he's make the shot, and he's a good shot maker, so it's okay. He's not going to have great shooting nights every single night. But when he has the ball, you know something good is going to happen. Really nice. Mike Conley, like I said, 11 assists. This is just being able to pass it to Lauri Markkanen and all these other guys. Mike Conley's having a nice the last month he's kind of come back to who he was. That injury seemed to really slow him down. And one thing that's going to help him is All-Star break. But yeah, the shooting wasn't quite there. But man, was he handling the ball. And plus 16 with 11 assists. I mean, just absolutely helps you win games. And when you can move the ball around like this, that's just invaluable. And finally, Malik Beasley. And actually, Zintas, I'll cover that rumor, actually. But anyways, Malik Beasley just knocking down shots was a big reason the Jazz won this game as well. I mean, these three, look, shoot, 5 for 11 from three, 7 for 13 from the field. And he's just hitting shot after shot after shot. The 3-point shot is back for Beasley, and you can bet there are going to be teams out there that want. And if the Jazz lose Malik Beasley, I don't know if they win a ton of games the rest of the year. He has been quietly one of the more important players on this team, because when he comes in with that bench, I mean, it's immediate offense, you know? He is just a lights out assassin and just shooting the basketball. And the thing that makes him so nice is he's not just a catch and shoot guy. He is a sidestep 3. He's a pull-up 3 guy. He can pump fake, drive to the mid-range and knock it down. He can do all sorts of things with the ball. He is a fantastic sixth man scoring player. And then you can fit him in into the starting lineup when you have an injury or something. And he's done that nicely for the Jazz multiple times this year. So Malik Beasley is such a versatile offensive, I would just call him just a versatile shooter that can just do a little bit of everything. And I hope he does. They're talking about Mike Conley in the skills challenge. Let's hope he does. But can we please get Malik Beasley in the 3-point contest, because he is an underrated shooter. Colin Sexton, also 20 minutes in this game, 12 points. A pretty standard Colin Sexton game. Not really much to talk about there. Jared Vanderbilt actually played pretty solid to me. And I actually noticed a few times on defense that they actually switched Ochai Agbaji off some guys to put Jared Vanderbilt on them. His defense is still really, really nice. There are some limitations with Jared Vanderbilt pretty much on the offensive end. I'm surprised how sometimes the touch isn't very good with him. You know, he's starting to knock down that corner 3. He didn't take one tonight. But his touch around the rim, sometimes I just see a little better. If your touch isn't great, then just dunk the ball. You know, try to dunk it. Just try to cram it on someone. And if they foul you, then you'll make free throws. But if your touch is bad and it's just going to not go in anyway, then I would just say dunk the ball. Even a small little lay-in dunk, you know? But anyways, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 3 for 3, perfect from the field. So we're talking about touch, and he was perfect. 7 points. He's just such a versatile player, and I'm sure there's teams out there that want him. Rudy Gay was Rudy Gay tonight. Ochai Agbaji, he's just getting this is great experience for Ochai. It's obvious he's got some learning to do. He doesn't quite seem to understand the flow offense quite yet. Like he doesn't quite seem to fit within it just yet. But it seems like there's going to be a point with Ochai that things will kind of start to click, and I imagine it's sometime midway through next season. But he's a really good shooter. Ochai Agbaji is a really nice shooter, and I think he'll figure that out. But the shooting and then doing some other things on offense, I don't think he's ever going to be this super dynamic offensive player, but I think he can do some things. He's a great cutter. Knockdown three-point shooter is what I think he'll eventually be. And then he showed some movement on defense that really got me excited. There was one play where he was guarding Spencer Dinwiddie, and we talk. One of the things I'm a weirdo, guys. I'm strange, but sometimes I think about things like Twitch. I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth, and of course I thought about Twitch with NBA players. And Ochai showed me some Twitch, and when I'm talking about Twitch, I'm talking about like quick movement, like happy feet. Can you move your feet really quickly and sidestep and move quickly on defense? And tonight Ochai showed it. He showed that Twitch. That's really exciting because he's an explosive leaper, and if he also has that Twitch with him, then that is what can make you a really nice defender. He's got a lot to learn, and he's got a ways to go, and he's got to figure out what he can and can't do. Sadly, NBA referees are bad, and so you have to build like a reputation with them, and he doesn't have that yet, but he will the more he plays, because he's got the physical tools. It looks like he has enough Twitch to be a really nice defender, and he's got athleticism, so he can do things like he did tonight, get offensive rebounds. He can steal the ball. He can jump passing lanes, all these different things that will be really nice to see and watch develop. He could become a really nice 3-and-D wing. And so let's talk about the rumors. We don't have much else to say beyond this game. So let's see. Jake and I, by the way, if you haven't already, go follow my TikTok, my Instagram. I've started doing shorts there, and I've done shorts on here too. It's going really well. So anyways, if you could go follow the TikTok, follow Instagram, I think it's on my profile on the YouTube. You can watch those, and I'm going to start trying to do one every day. I don't know if we'll do one a little late, but one of the things I've been doing is just talking about trade rumors. And let's see, is it Zintas that mentioned it? The trade rumor, Conley could be traded to the Clippers or Lakers. Sounds like the Clippers thing has cooled a tiny bit for Mike Conley. But one thing that Jake Fisher mentioned today is that that Danny Ainge is making phone calls, and he is calling multiple teams to see their interest in Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. And in fact, we bring up the article and right here. Okay, so Jake Fisher, by the way, important follow on Instagram. Hopefully we don't get things. So Jazz remain active. Utah continues to dial opposing front offices in hopes of fetching positive returns for Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt and Mike Conley. So they are out there making phone calls to get something done. Among other veterans, sources said the Jazz have not relented in their stance that breakout forward Lauri Markkanen and standout rookie center Walker Kessler are unavailable via trade. While the Clippers have shown interest in Conley, one source described any trade with LA landing the lefty point guard as unrealistic. So it sounds like the Clippers trade might not happen. But with the Lakers having traded for Rui Hachimura, they've kind of shored up their wing depth a tiny bit. And now they're looking for guards. And so it makes sense that they are talking with the Jazz, or at least the Jazz have talked to them. Now, what they're willing to give the Jazz for Conley, I don't know if they have anything that fits, because I don't think they're going to want to give one of those unprotected future firsts that will likely be post LeBron or when LeBron's in his downturn. But do they want, like Zintas has mentioned here, do they want some sort of combination of Clarkson, Beasley, Conley, or Vanderbilt? Because it sounds like Markkanen and Kessler are untouchable, and I think it was Mark Stein. I can't remember exactly. I could be wrong. Also mentioned that Ochai Agbaji is close to untouchable. That the Jazz really like him. So anyways, Clarkson, Beasley, Conley, Vanderbilt, maybe some sort of combination of that can get you those first-round picks from the Lakers if they think that those players will make them a championship contender. And I honestly think they might be able to. I think this Lakers team is a little better than people think. And if you add Conley, Clarkson, and Beasley, and maybe even Vanderbilt, then that team gets really good really fast. Obviously, you bring back Russell Westbrook, which probably waive, and then you get 2 unprotected firsts. But I don't think the Lakers are going to do that, to be honest. But we'll see. I would not be surprised if we see a trade very soon. I did hear from somebody that I think Vanderbilt is almost like, I mean, you never know. Things change all the time. But I would be very surprised if Vanderbilt wasn't traded. And Malik Beasley. I think those guys are about as sure a thing to be traded as you can guess. But you never know. Things change. If it takes 2 to make a trade, and if both teams don't give what they need to, then it doesn't happen. And that's how we know things go with Danny Ainge. If he doesn't get what he thinks is the right value, then he's not going to do it. And that's just good policy. He's more patient than me. I want the Jazz to get a superstar. Could you imagine if the Jazz could keep Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, Ochai Agbaji, and then whoever is left, maybe they re-sign Jordan Clarkson if he doesn't get the offer that he thinks he does. And then what if you get really lucky and win the lottery and you get in the top 4 and you get like Scoot Henderson? Could you imagine pairing a superstar with Lauri Markkanen as your number 2? I mean, could you imagine how cool that would be to have Scoot Henderson on this team passing out to Lauri Markkanen 43% from 3? And having Lauri Markkanen take 8 to 15 threes a game, somewhere in that range? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Be incredible. We'll see what happens. Although the Jazz keep winning. Lauri Markkanen's so freaking good, the Jazz are not losing games. I mean, they're back to 500. It's crazy. Markkanen has been so good this year. It's undeniable. He is the reason this Jazz team is where they are. Without Lauri Markkanen, this Jazz team is completely different. And Walker Kessler has been a revelation. Jordan Clarkson has evolved again. And then Ochai Agbaji is getting better. I don't know if he's contributing to wins just yet, but he's showing a lot of flashes. And we're getting more and more flashes every game. The more he plays, the better it'll be. But then the Jazz in this draft get 3 first-round picks, guys. And if you compare them around Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and Ochai Agbaji, and then you get 3 picks, and if you can hit on at least 1 or 2 of those, and those become really good players, you are in really good shape. Especially if you win the lottery and we're not even gonna. I don't know. If you get bad enough and you get lucky and you win that lottery, it changes your franchise for decades. Just ask the San Antonio Spurs and Tim Duncan. Or the Orlando Magic when they had Shaq. Or any of those teams that just got lucky out of the blue. Or ask last year's Orlando Magic and getting Paolo Banchero. What he's doing is out of this world. That Magic team is going to be unbelievable. And that's what you want with this Jazz team. They know they have a star in Lauri Markkanen. And can you just get us another superstar with him? Like the number 1 guy, like Orlando. So jealous. All right, that's all I got. It's now time. Oh, crud. My computer restarted. It's not ready. Oh, thanks for being here tonight, guys, though. This was a nice win for the Utah Jazz, and they are just, honestly, I can't say enough about how good Lauri Markkanen has been. It doesn't matter what game. He is now just consistently playing at just such an incredible level. And sorry about earlier, stupid ESPN and their dumb ads and their dumb sound. Hopefully it didn't ruin the video, but thank you for being. All right, let's go to Tankathon. Refresh. So we only have 1 shot, but it's the Utah Jazz pick because other teams are figuring it out. Oklahoma City has an MVP candidate in the SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is out of his mind. 7-3 in their last 10. This is great for Utah. Stupid Lakers lost again tonight, although it was the ref's fault. Anyways, let's give a shout out, or let's give a shot. Let's see what the Jazz get in this lottery. The Lakers go number 1, and it gives the pick to the New Orleans Pelicans. Man, everybody jumped. Toronto jumps. Indiana jumps. Washington jumps. What an insane lottery that would be. Could you imagine? How devastating would it be to be Detroit? Oh my gosh. Utah stays at 13, and that gets them Anthony Black. Nice player. Wing, shooting guard, small forward from Arkansas. Interesting player. Fun player. Passes the ball really well. I was watching Case and Wallace today at the gym. They were playing. He's a good passer. He's interesting. I don't know how good he'll be. Sometimes you just get a feel for a guy, and I don't know. I need to watch him more, but Anthony Black, man. That's really nice. We'll see. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. Let's give a shout out to Ezekiel Raicibe, the man from down under. See ya, Lexa Later, Alexander Tufts, Bill Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jared Chanderbilt, Shan Therick, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo, Baby Elliott Matson, Jordan the Goat Besserell, Just Buckets, JB, Zap Watts, TGD Total Game Domination, Christian House Money to Haas, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, X marks the spot for Zintis, Joshua Hansen, the Danish Destroyer, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, Donald Schooley, School and all of us, DW to CB, Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer, Patrick Kubo, the Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. Guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you next time.